BF6's casual lobbies sound like a good idea on paper. They give new players less punishing space, lowering pressure, and making the game easier to get into. But I think they also reveal a bigger problem, because this feels less like a real solution and more like a band-aid. Before I get into it, I want to say this is a part of a bigger conversation. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on persistent servers soon, because I think that's part of why Battlefield now seems to need solutions like this in the first place. But for this video, I want to stay focused on casual lobbies and why I think they feel more artificial than helpful. Now, to be clear, I get the idea. Not every player wants to jump straight into a full multiplayer mode and get thrown against stronger players or have to learn the hard way. So on paper, casual lobbies make sense. They give people a softer entry point, lowering pressure a bit. The problem is that lowering the pressure is not the same as creating a good learning environment. Once bots become a major part of the experience, the whole thing becomes less representative of actual Battlefield and feels more artificial. They don't move like real players, they don't put pressure on angles the same way, they don't punish mistakes the same, nor do they create the same kind of decision making that you would deal with in an actual multiplayer match. So yes, they can make the mode feel easier, but easier doesn't automatically mean better for improvement. If someone spends a lot of time in casual lobbies, they may get more comfortable with the controls or basic flow, but they're still learning a softer version of the game, and once they leave that environment, a lot of what felt manageable may stop feeling manageable entirely. And again, to be fair, not everybody is jumping into Battlefield because they want some intense competitive experience. Some people just want to relax, let off some steam, and enjoy the setting without every match feeling sweaty. That's completely understandable, but I think this raises a different question as well. If what players really want is a lower pressure, modern military experience, does that mean that bot-heavy PvP is the right answer? Or does it suggest that there's more of a demand for an actual PvE or co-op experience that DICE isn't really addressing? Because that is the part of casual lobbies that feels awkward to me. They are not fully representative of the real multiplayer experience, nor are they true PvE experience either. They sit in this weird middle space where they lower the pressure, but in a way that feels like more of an imitation of both, as opposed to a good representation of either. And this is where I keep coming back to the word band-aid. This doesn't feel like DICE solving a deeper problem here, it just feels like them covering the surface of one. A bot-heavy casual mode may reduce friction in the short term, but it doesn't really create a stronger multiplayer ecosystem. It just creates an artificial version of the game where some players sit there before actually dealing with the real thing. That's not a foundational thing, that's just a patch-up job. I think this becomes more telling when we start to connect it to previous conversations I've had on this channel. I've already discussed how Battlefield 6 feels like it has a limited skill gap. The gameplay already is flatter, and it feels like it has less depth overall. We're talking about curving the mastery that exists and the separation between stronger and weaker players. The game already has that, creating more accessibility for it. So DICE feeling the need to add casual lobbies on top of it, I think says a lot. Because at that point, the issue isn't that the game is just too hard for casual players, but it suggests something bigger is missing in the overall structure of the experience. So to me, casual lobbies aren't really the fix here. They lower pressure, but they do it in a way that feels too artificial to solve the deeper issues. Bots can make Battlefield easier, but they don't really teach players how the real game plays when it comes to the actual multiplayer side of things. And if a lot of players are mainly wanting a lower stress military experience, that may point more towards a demand for better PvE or co-op than a bot-heavy PvP pretending to be the same thing. I think this is why it feels less like a real answer and more like a band-aid. And again, with the follow-up video, I want to go into why I think the missing systems like persistent servers are a part of the reason that Battlefield now seems to need band-aid solutions like this in the first place. But I'm curious, what do you think? Do you feel like casual lobbies are a good addition for BF6? Or do you think that they are a weaker substitute for better systems that existed in the series in the past? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one. RAMTEID out.